you read the clickbait title right. I am finally fulfilling my contractual obligation as a sword YouTuber to rate and review fantasy weapons. These aren't fantasy weapons, these are real. But I am going to rate and review fantasy weapons like this! Whatever image I'm deciding to put up and post. Yes, that's right. I'm going to be telling you if this works or not. Yes, every sword YouTuber is required to make videos like this. If we don't, YouTube will actually deplatform us. So let's get started. Hey-ya! Let's start with Skyrim because it's a classic. Let's look at their sword selection. So this is kind of funny, and I find this with a lot of video games. The base tier weapon is the most accurate, and as we go towards the top tier weapon, it is the least accurate in terms of if it would actually be usable. So let's look at the iron swords first. The iron long sword, well, it's not long, the iron sword over here. You can see it actually is a pretty reasonable looking sword. It kind of looks like it's Norse inspired a little bit with the curvature of the blade. I don't know, it's like a weird mix of Roman almost and Norse. But either way, it's very simple. It is a tapered blade. It kind of looks like it's got a really beefy cross guard. I think it'd be pretty heavy. And if you look at the weights, the weights are all kinds of wrong. So then we move up to the iron, the steel ones, and now we start to get more ornate. I understand this is a video game and we're limited because it's an older video game, so they couldn't have really detailed, thin cross guards and have them track very well. But those look so beefy, and I actually believe the weights that they're putting on these based on how beefy the crossguard section is in here. But these weights that they're saying for some of these swords are like 10 pounds or more for a one-handed sword. That's insane. That's insane. A two-handed long sword like this should weigh somewhere between 2.5 and 4 pounds. This specific one weighs about 3 pounds. A 3-pound sword that is this long. That's realistic. So, and then you get into, now I want to talk about this because what is going on with Dragon Bone? We all know you can only carry a couple and then you're overburdened, but what? Dragons fly. So you would think their bones would be hollow. How are they flying when their bones weigh this much? I looked at the Dragon Bone long sword, and the Dragon Bone great sword weighs 27 pounds. That's too much. For instance, this great sword here, which is a historically accurate Montante greatsword. Very similar also to a Zweihander. This weighs, I think it's 6 pounds. It's maybe 6 or 8 pounds. 6 or 8 pounds. The Dragon Bone dagger weighs 6 pounds in Skyrim. The dagger weighs as much as this real greatsword. Also, why is the dagger... So 4 Dragon Bone daggers weigh as much as 1 greatsword. I don't know if that math checks out. Not as much, it's a little bit less, but I don't know about that math. So I think Skyrim has a math problem. So maybe it's not pounds, maybe it's like some weird Skyrim unit that we don't understand. But anyway, it's a lot. Their weapons weigh way too much. Realistically, these weapons would have weighed a lot less. Let's look at something ridiculous like the Daedric Sword. Look at the contour of the sword. Look at all the spikes on it, everything else, how ornate it is. We don't really see that. Even if we're looking at museum pieces, we don't see weapons that look like this. At least right now we're talking about European stuff. We'll talk a little bit about other stuff later. But we just don't see anything with all these points and spikes and things on it like that. And that's because simplicity really is your friend when we're talking about weapons. Let's look at the crossguard of this sword again. And look at kind of its profile. So you can see the crossguard here is very simple. It's just a line across like that. And it's got a very simple handle, a very simple pommel, and then the blade itself just tapers to a point like that. It's not really ornate. This is a really effective weapon. It's easy to use, it doesn't get caught on a lot of things, and I don't really have to worry about getting stuck in something. But maybe you're saying that's not a fair comparison. Well, I have something else for you. This, the Messer. This is a single-edged sword, it's got a little tiny edge there, that is one-handed, and actually the profile of it kind of matches the Daedric Sword. This is probably something they were looking at when they were basing it off of. This is kind of in the same class of weapon as an arming sword. It's a one-handed sword that was used both for civilian defense and also for war. The thing about this you'll notice is how simple it is again. So it has a fairly simple blade profile. It's fairly straight, with a bit of a curve at the end. It's got a very small and simple crossguard. The handle kind of actually looks like the Daedric weapon a little bit. This here is for retaining the blade. And then here we have this little thing called the Noggle, which is better hand protection. This isn't going to get caught in somebody like this monstrosity is.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoy this or any of our other content, please consider supporting us on Patreon. Your support allows us to keep creating shorts, fencing videos, and our major projects. When you support the team on Patreon, you get access to behind-the-scenes content, discounts on merch, opportunities to game the crew, and so much more. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay up to date with all the fun stuff Sellsword Arts is doing. You can even ring the bell if you really feel like it. You can also join the community Discord and chat with the crew and other cool people with similar interests. And if you don't agree with something that I've said in one of these videos, you can always fill out the duel request form and challenge me to a duel so you can prove your point. You can find our Patreon and Discord link in the description. Additional links are in our bio. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you on the next video.